Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Kurt, aka the Vitruvian Gamer, and we're here with a new unboxing. A double unboxing because we have two games in the same series. Imperium Classics, Imperial Legends by Nigel and Dávid Turczi, published by Osprey Games, who have done some quite interesting games in the past already. The designers as well. So, without further ado, let's take a look. I'm going to start with classics, so that we, they will be quite similar, but I just want to show you which factions are in these boxes and some of the artwork and so on. So, this is Imperial Classics. So, I'm not going to read everything, but the Imperium Classics, so this is a standalone game. You can play Legends as a standalone game as well. And this contains the Carthaginian, the Celt, the Greek, the Macedonian, Persian, Roman, Scythian, and Viking civilizations. And they can be played with opponents or with as a solo game. So it is 1 to 4 players. Plays in 40 minutes per player, it says, and for ages 14 and up. And the artwork is by Mihailo Demaiko Dimitrievsky, and that's the thing that caught my eye first. Is the artwork on the box, and of course also the designer Dávid Turczi, who I know personally. Nigel Buckle, I don't think I've had the pleasure to meet him yet, but they designed this game. So let's check this out. Let's take off this plastic here. And let's see what's inside of this first box, the Classics, Imperium Classics. Okay, so we have a rule book, and you will see we have two of them. So first we have the normal rule book, which is, let's see, 23 pages long, but you will notice quickly that starting from page 14 already, you have all the keywords explained. So, and all the nations explained as well. So the rules, they stop at page 13. And of course you have examples, the setup. So there's a lot of examples, even with explaining how to set up. Depending on which nation you play, you might have a different setup. So there you go, the cards explained and all that jazz. All right, so we have the rule book, but we also have the solo rule book. So these are the rules to play solo, and you have the same thing here. A lot of pages, 23 as well, but you will see that for each nation, and even the nations from the other box. So it's all the nations, they are in here because the rule books are the same in both boxes. How they activate when in a solo game if you play against a certain nation. So, and that's also half of this book. So you can also play campaign mode apparently, which I didn't know. So there you go. The number of rules is not that big, but it's a little bit more complex, this game. Now, let me start by showing something. And I put these way too far from me. I've printed, I just showed you all these things here. On Board Game Geek you can find these as well to print out, and I've laminated them, so it's easy if you play against a nation. I just take these and I can play it without always have to refer to the rule book. I can just use these, and you have one for each of those factions, which is perfect, which also means that I'm looking forward to this game. I haven't played it yet, as you can see by the box. It's still completely unpunched, but I'm looking forward so much that I already made these reference cards. All right, so we have a bunch of cardboard pieces here. These are progress tokens, I believe. These are points, actually. These number tokens are for the solo variant, and we have population and materials as well. Action markers and exhaustion markers. I think these are the action and these are the exhaustion markers. And you have this thing here. You have a couple of them, and you place them next to each other, and there you place the decks of cards that you can acquire. The cardboard is okayish. It's not very sturdy, but it will do its job. Could be sturdier, but hey, it's fine. It's perfect, especially the shits. For these things, they're longer, so they bend more easily. So that might have been a little bit more sturdy, but it's okay. It's definitely going to do its job. There you go. You have 3 of these punch boards, so a lot of tokens. And then we have this, and that's interesting. This comes with an insert already, so you have a place for everything to put in. So you can put the tokens here in the middle, and for each faction or each nation you will find a spot, and it's even written in the box below. Now I'm going to check something here. There has been mention of some problems with the difference in card size. Now I don't see a big issue in this box here, and that's why I want to show the other box as well, because there are mentions on Board Game Geek that players noticed difference in card size a little bit, so you had to sleeve these, which made it impossible for them to go back in this insert. So you have to make some other way to organize it in the box without this plastic insert, which is a shame, of course, because this is pretty neat, of course, to have. All right, so we have these cards here. These are, I think, from a common deck. This is not from a, well, you can see it. The Unrest, the Fame and State, and Solstice cards. And I'm just going to show you some of these cards. So it's pretty cool artwork, right? It's pretty provocative, I think. It has a sense of action, a sense of movement, and I really like this. Like, as you can see, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat artwork. I love the colors as well. So that's a bunch of cards. So I'm going to go over these quickly because, well, you don't want to see every card, but they look pretty cool. Wilderness, jungle. So these are, I've got already the region cards, some of the region cards that you can have. But I really love the artwork. It's pretty cool. So there's a bunch, and these cards have a bunch of information. So this is not an easy or a simple game. This is pretty deep, and there's a lot of information on these cards, a lot of keywords to learn. For example, here, exile a card from the market. You may garrison a card, a passive ability. You have point symbols. You have these symbols here, symbols in the corners. So a bunch of different keywords and different uses of these cards. And of course, the cool thing is that each and every one of these nations, and I haven't shown you a nation yet, so let's do that. So these are uncivilized cards, and these are the Scythians, for example. Let's show you some of these. So every deck, every nation is different, plays different, and you need to use a different strategy. They have different ways to win. During the game, you're going to go from barbarian to empire state. So you start with barbarian state, and that means you can only play cards that are barbarian with this symbol here. But after a while, you become an empire, and you're more civilized, I guess, and you can only use these cards with the blue banner here, which means the old cards are useless. So in the game, you're trying to find a balance in when will I try to get rid of those barbarian or uncivilized cards before and when do I stop buying them from the market. So that's pretty cool. And well, every faction is different. Which one will we show you as well? There are some tributary cards, the Persians, the Macedonians, we have the Greeks. Let's show the Greeks as well. I'm not going to show you everything, but there we go. The Greeks with the Olympic Games, Pericles, the city of Corinth, science, Greek innovation, democracy, the lighthouse. And as you can see, the artwork, I really love the colors in this artwork. I'm really intrigued by this artwork. Okay, let's put this back in here. You also have one die here, just a normal d6 with a big number 1. This is used in the solo game as well. Each time you're going to roll the die to see which card doesn't get played by your artificial intelligence adversary. All right, so let's, I've got some cards here. I have to put those back soon. let's dive into the next box here, and you're going to see it's pretty much of the same. But the box says that in this box here, it has 3 of the most challenging civilizations in Imperium: the Arthurians, the Utopians, and Atlanteans, together with Egyptian, Merian, Minoan, Olmec, and Qin civilization. And you can already maybe feel that this is a little bit different. These are classics. These are the Romans and the Greek, which are, well, very real nations from our history. But this one has more of those legend things, those legend clans. And as I already said, these are standalone games, so they have the same rulebook, so exactly the same content of rules, exactly the same punch boards, of course, and also the same insert, with, again, new common cards, I will call them, but also, of course, their own nations. And the cool thing is that these nations, they're a little bit more special, and they, of course, the Arthurians, well, it's from the Legend of Camelot, of course, but they play against differently the Grail, Lancelot, Sir Lancelot here, so of course they're from Legends that probably didn't exist for real, Excalibur, for example. So it depends on what you like to play. Do you like to play a real historical nation, or do you prefer to play a nation that, well, we all know but didn't really exist? For example, the Minoans here. Well, that's up to you, the Olmecs, because, yeah, I've seen on Board Game Geek that I think the classics are, when I tried to buy this game, it was sold out everywhere pretty fast, and when it was always the classics that were sold out first, so they're probably a little bit more popular, but I think these legends are pretty intriguing as well, and they're more complex, so they're a bigger challenge to play. So I'm really looking forward to try these out as well after I get the hang of this game. So Visions of Shangri-La, the Gates of Shangri-La, a monastery, the portals. So you can see these are some monk style games, the Utopians here with meditation, with a mountain retreat, sacred scrolls. So they all have a bunch of sacred scrolls. I don't know what they do, but that shows again that every nation is very different, and you can also look at the size of their decks. For example, the Arthurians, as you can see, they have a bunch more cards than, for example, these Minoans. As you can see, there are a bunch more cards. So every deck is different, the number of cards is different, the way they play it is different, even if you use them as a bot. So I'm really, really intrigued by this game, and I'm very eager to try this out, and hopefully when I find the time and when I feel that I know this game well enough, I will do a solo playthrough of this game. If you have a favorite nation in one of these 2 boxes, please let me know in the comments below so I can take a look at them and try to figure them out. So, and the most popular one that you want me to play with, I might choose that one, not promising anything. And the most popular that you want me to play against, let me know in the comments below, and maybe in the near future you will see a playthrough on this channel. Until then, I thank you for joining me for this unboxing. I'm really, really looking forward to playing this game, Imperial, with the Legends and the Classics. Thank you for watching, and see you all very soon. See you in the future with some history. Bye bye.